50 degrees outside our KTTR studios on this Tuesday. It is time for the Healthy Concept Show. Dr. Rob and Dr. Annette are with you today. Good morning to both of you.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Woohoo. 50 degrees.
50 degrees.
It feels great. Of course, for Christmas Day, we'd like to have about 8 inches of snow, and then the next day completely melted off with no work from the city. It just we had a 60-degree day,
magical snow
post Christmas.
That's right. You're right.
That would be good. Everybody, stay home, visit with the family on Christmas. We don't need to clear the roads. Well, I'm not making any policy here, of course. All right. Well, welcome to the Healthy Concept Show. We like to talk about your health, and first off, we want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. It's a great time of the year, and I'm excited about this time of year. Are you excited about this time of year?
Yeah, as much as I dislike the cold, it seems like I get a little more in the Christmas spirit. If it does get a little cold and, a little bit of snow, like right around Christmas, it seems to make a difference.
It's kind of funny that you said that, because you said, you said, despite this and that. I thought you were getting ready to say, despite I have to hear Grandma got run over by a reindeer 7,300 times between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Other than that, I'm loving the Christmas season. So, but anyway, had a couple of interesting studies come out, and I thought it kind of tied into Christmas a little bit here. Vaguely, it means this is a stretch, but anyway, it says married folks seem to have lower dementia risks, and I know that this season can be difficult for some people because of lost ones and lost family members and so on and so forth. The reason why I wanted to talk about this study just a little bit was that because the important part about this is being socially engaged.
Definitely.
It's not, of course. Now I'm not the arbiter of this study, and I'm not the umpire official of the study, but I will give you my opinion based upon experience of seeing people and also just experience of living life, and that's that it's really the social ability. It's our social. And I know it's difficult. Sometimes, especially this time of season, for people who've lost loved ones or so on and so forth, they can feel more isolated in this season. But I would encourage people that are in that place that to do the best you can to God, just reach out and say hi to folks, walk down the street you don't know or whatever, and just you know what I'm trying to say here.
Well, and even go shopping or something. Get out
And the worst thing that can happen is sitting kind of in your house isolated, and because it just compounds the problem.
Right, if you're already sad and sitting at home by yourself is just going to make you sadder.
One of the things that we find...
more sad. I don't know how the proper way to say that is.
That's fine. I'm sure my 7-year-old, I'm certain, and sadder could be a word. My 7-year-old definitely would use it. But, and I wasn't, but anyway, here's the thing. I like to talk about brain health because we do a lot of brain health stuff in our office. We do a lot of cardiovascular, a lot of diabetes, helping folks with those, and autoimmunes and all kinds of different things. But we also work with people that are like early onset dementia, and those things can be either slowed down or even reversed in some cases by proper management. Doing things natural through proper exams, labs, and so on and so forth, we can have good success with that. And we also like to deal with the ADHD kids and the kids that have learning disabilities. Definitely. It's amazing what you can do by making a few changes in their based upon examinations. All of a sudden they start doing better in school, not only in grades, but also in their attention, and to be able to, do that.
Right.
So in my quest of understanding the brain, one of the things I look at is that, we have a right side and a left side of the brain. I'm not trying to get too complicated about this, but the left side of the brain is pretty much your short-term reward side. It's your logical side. It's your language side. It's your most kind of a definite side.
Right.
The right side of the brain is more the abstract. It's more of the relationship side. And this is the point I wanted to get to, was when people have depression, generally it's coming out of a problem in the right side of the brain. And people who have tendencies, like you could see some people that know, kind of almost no matter what happened to them, they would never really fall into a long-term depression. Certainly we can have short-term, which is normal from grieving and stuff like that.
Definitely,
but
yeah.
Some people just don't have that tendency. But some people really do have that tendency, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the best things to cure, and cure is the wrong word, but one of the best things we can do when we have depression is simply go out and mingle with people. Go help somebody. Go serve somebody. Go do something, because here's what happens in depression, and I'm talking about brain physiology. We're talking about how the brain functions, that if you are depressed, one of the things that starts happening is you naturally start looking at yourself. Now we know it's just a general model of depression. That's one of the things that happens. People get self-focused. And please, if you have depression, I'm not telling you that you're just all self and self and self. It's just a natural progression that happens when people, get depressed. There starts to become this condition called navel gazing. You start looking at yourself.
Right. You start picking on yourself, kind of.
That's right. And then you start picking on yourself. And then the worst thing that happens is people get into this depressive state, and it's a self-feeding cycle. The more depressed you get, the more inward you look. The more inward you look, the more isolate yourself. The more you isolate yourself, the more you keep that idiot box in front of your couch going, day in and day out, doing binge watching of this, that's, and the others, and it's a way of detaching from life to a degree. And so when somebody's in a depressive state, and I'm talking about just brain physiology, the best thing we can do is get out, go help somebody. Mm-hmm. If there's snow on their driveway, pick up a shovel and say, "Hey, I'd like to help you do this. I'm not asking for $20.
Right.
Do you need a ride to the store? Can I?" Whatever, and just like you said, just go shopping,
go smile at somebody.
Oh, wow, that right there. Just the fact of smiling. Smiling itself is something that will do that. If you want to get in a good mood, it's kind of funny. If you want to get in a good mood, laugh. You said, "No, I got to be in a good mood to laugh." No, if you laugh, you'll get in a good mood.
Right.
If you smile, you'll be in a good mood. If you hunch your shoulders over and your face is all depressed and you're sitting there thinking about all the things that maybe all the different regrets you've had in your life, all that. The heck with all that. We all have regrets, and I'm not just saying, suck it up, buttercup, but I'm just saying that one of the best things that we can do is just break out of that prison and say, "You know what? I'm not going to put up with this. This is a lie. I don't have to sit here and be depressed and be in this place."
Right. Well, and along with that note, if you know anyone who's alone, call them up.
By all means.
Check on them. Make sure they're doing okay.
This is the Christmas season.
Right. Take them some hot chocolate.
You bet. You bet. Take them some gluten-free cookies.
Right.
Take them some, hot chocolate. Go visit. We know people who are, and we're not picking on people who are living by themselves. We totally get that. That's okay. Life circumstances. This is not any kind of judgment in any way. But if you know folks that are, good point. Know somebody that, this is a great time of the year to, just visit and do different things and so on and so forth. I didn't really mean to go this far down that track, but it really, I think, is important.
It is sometimes, just to, just remember that.
Right.
We're all in this together.
We're all in this together. We are all into this together. So married folks have less dementia, but I think it has a lot to do with just being engaged socially.
Right.
Because here's the thing: we need community. There's a place, and it is somewhere in Italy. It's a community that. They average living is 90 years old. And it's not unusual to see somebody walking down the street that's 100 years old. Just not unusual.
Right.
They're not as frail and so on and so forth. They've studied this community fairly extensively. And what they found is, they eat a pretty good diet, but not there's other places who eat as good as they eat, and they don't quite achieve the longevity. And the one thing that they actually determined in this community was that they were a real community. Everybody knows each other. Everybody, there's a depression is something that doesn't really exist in that society. That was something they were amazed about, and so community was just a big is a huge factor. And so, boy, community, and I have to say that's one of the things that I love so much about moving into Rolla was that, one of the things that and probably one of the best attributes that I found about Rolla is that it really is a nice community. And when I say community, I'm talking about, the relationships, the people. It's not hard to make friends here. You can go to the store. You generally see people, or it's a nice little group, nice little mix. So there we go. So we're all going to live to be 90. So we're all good with there. Okay, good. All right. So I also want to talk about a few other things. One is that about pesticide. This is a study that just came out November 2nd. And it's from MedPage Today, and it says pesticide-laden produce tied to poor fertility outcomes. So it really is true that we have, epidemic is not the word I want to use because it sounds like the Spanish flu or something like that, right? But, infertility actually is on the rise in our society. And, it's hard to say, okay, that does it, because it's probably multifactorial. In other words, there's probably a lot of reasons. It's not just, it's this, that, the other. But certainly, I think one of the contributing factors is that we really consume in our food chain a lot of pesticides. Yeah. Now, when you think about pesticides, if you eat an apple and it has pesticides in it, probably not much of a problem. It's the day in and day out usage of that accumulates over time that can really cause the problem.
Right, and our bodies don't really have a good way to detoxify those things.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people are blessed with very, very good, genetically good detoxification pathways. They have mercury in their mouth, amalgams. They are exposed to lead. They're exposed to, pesticides, and their detoxification pathways work so well that it really doesn't bother them that much. But a lot of people do not have those genetics to be able to process these different chemicals.
Right.
And when they do, of course, it could accumulate over time. I really believe that this is one of the factors, for sure, if you don't detoxify these chemicals well. This is one of the things that can lead to cancer.
For sure.
Because we have environmentals, chemicals.
Yeah.
Not just pesticides, but we have chemicals.
Right. Well, and anything that irritates the system for a long period of time can cause, problems.
Exactly. Anyway, there's something called the Dirty Dozen I wanted to share. The Dirty Dozen, these are fruits and vegetables that have a tendency to have more pesticides on them than not. And top of the list are apples. And the problem with it is if you're eating apples day in and day out that are non-organic, that even if you wash them, and by all means you should wash your fruit and vegetables when you get it home, right? You're going to knock some of the pesticides off. But what they found is that the pesticides actually can get into the fruit itself, so you can't really wash all of it off. Now, in my household, we do our absolute best to go organic across the board. It's not possible to do it 100%, but we really do put a big emphasis. It costs more, but to me, it's worth it because I want organic is good because when you eat organic foods, you're going to get more, phytonutrients, which are the good stuff in there. You're going to get more of that stuff. But perhaps one of the most important things we get from going out organic is this issue. It's not sprayed down with chemicals. So
it's grown differently.
It's grown different. Like if you have an apple, it's got a worm gone through it, right? Just cut the little hole out where the worm's been and eat that apple because it's probably pretty good. If a worm eats it,
gonna eat it.
Not a lot of worms are eating those pesticide-laden apples. They're like, no, that's yucky. It tastes bad. But anyway, here's my list. Apples, strawberries, grapes, celery. These are all things that are called the dirty dozen, which we're going to have the most pesticide traces on them. So apples, strawberries, grapes, celery, peaches, spinach, sweet bell peppers, nectarines that are imported, cucumbers, potatoes, cherry tomatoes, and hot peppers. These are all things, if they're bought non-organic, are going to have the highest level of pesticides to them. We also have what's called the Clean 15. Mm-hmm. These are the ones that have the least pesticide traces on them. And those would be onions. Onions on the top of the list. Actually, onions are very good. Do you like onions?
I love onions.
Yeah, I do too.
Love
I do too. They're very good. Oh, onions are very good for your immune system, by the way.
They are. They also help with breaking down fat, keep cholesterol.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Annette put a zinger in there. That's good. So, onions, very good for, say that again?
They help your body break down fat, so it's good for your cholesterol.
Great. Onions, also good for your immune system. Also very specifically good if you're fighting a virus. Yes. Onions and garlic. If you're fighting virus, onions and garlic. Just make sure everybody in the house is doing it.
Right?
Okay, so my Clean 15, we have onions, pineapples, avocados. Wow, tomato, avocados. I didn't know that. Number 4 on the list, cabbage. These are the Clean 15. Sweet peas, papayas, mangoes. Hard to get good tasting mangoes.
Yeah, they come from so far away.
Right? I mean, that's what I think. Like, we go down, like, we're getting ready to take a family trip down south and going to head down to Mexico. And we're probably going to be exposed to some, through the roof, awesome mangoes. And I will be partaking of the mangoes. Watching my sugar, but I will be doing some mangoes down there. Asparagus, eggplant, these are Clean 15. Asparagus, eggplant, kiwi. Grapefruit. Grapefruit is excellent for you. If you're on various medications, especially like high blood pressure, some of the high blood pressure medication, you want to watch how much grapefruit you eat because it alters the way your liver detoxifies that medicine, and it can change your dosage.
Yeah, it can make it stronger or weaker depending on...
Right, exactly. And so we don't want that, but so be careful with that. So cantaloupe, we're on the Clean 15, cantaloupe. Sweet potatoes, I love sweet potatoes. My wife cooks me sweet potatoes. I love that. That's it. If she's listening, there we go. Mushrooms and watermelon. Not a lot of water.
Something I noticed with that list is a lot of those things have a harder, thicker outer covering.
That's a very important key, is that more protection, right? Mm-hmm. Like a grapefruit, you've got to peel it. A cantaloupe, you have to, there's some peeling that goes on with it. Yeah. I mean, you kind of dig it out, but there's a covering. You're right.
Avocados have a nice hard...
nice hard shell.
Yeah.
Pineapples, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't just take a pineapple and
like
take
with
a bite of
onions
it.
and cabbage, you usually peel off a few outer layers before you, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
And so my thing about it is this. I would love it if we would, as a community, if we'd say, okay, we're all eating, or a majority is eating organic. You know what would happen if 30% of the population in the United States started eating organic? You know what would happen? The prices would drop.
Yeah.
And then it would be easier. Because why? Because
supply and demand.
Now all of a sudden you have more people demanding that we have good, organic, non-GMO food, and the first thing you know, it's going to be cheaper. Not only that, but our non-organic, our organic, non-GMO foods, another thing to do, we can't do it right now, but support your local farmers markets.
Definitely.
Your local folks.
I think there's 2 of them in Rolla all year long.
Yeah, right. And we have lots of farmers around here that raise things like beef,
yeah,
and other livestock.
Right.
That they use no chemicals, they use no antibiotics, and they do it, pure, grass-fed, range, and all these things. So look around even in our community, and
and you can probably ask, like at the health food store, they would probably know where you could reach those people.
Exactly. And we even through our office, I know we have patients that raise livestock. I've got a group, a great group of Mennonite folks that come down from somewhere north of Colombia. They're around the Mexico area, and they do on a larger scale, all organic, all non-GMO. But it's not just a small kind of farm; it's a pretty big operation. So you see those too. But certainly we want to support our local,
definitely,
people, because it's very interesting. They say this. I love this. I'm not a big proponent of honey because honey has a lot of sugar, and some people say I don't eat any sugar, but they eat 5 gallons of honey a year, and I'm going to tell you that's a great recipe to become diabetic and overweight and a whole bunch of other things. So but anyway, so what people do is they will if you harvest honey close to your community. If you harvest honey close to your community, then it actually will help you with things like allergies and even infections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like pollen, because it's stuff that's in your area.
Right. Exactly. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So local stuff is very important. So, we support our local people. We support our, we do that. And just keep in mind that if you eat an apple, and it is non-organic, and you eat one, probably not going to kill you. It's the repeated day in and day out abuse of taking in these pesticides that's going to have a bad effect. And in this study, it talked specifically about pesticide-laden produce tied to poor fertility outcomes. And so, of course, there's other things that can cause fertility problems. But I would say this is something that we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to.
Well, and we're not saying that if you eat one apple, you're going to be infertile. That's not what we're saying at all. We're just saying that in the grand scheme of
I don't know.
things,
Look what happened in the garden when they ate that one apple, right? A lot of bad things happen. Now, I'm kidding about that.
Each person has their own individual makeup, and certain things affect certain people that don't affect others. So.
That's exactly right, and that's kind of what we were talking about. One of the things that we do in our clinic, and I'm very thankful for this. We do what's called personalized medicine, personalized health care. And what this really means is this. When somebody comes in and gets an exam, we're going to do an exam that's probably going to be a physical exam, sit down and talk and figure out what's going on with you, get a history. It's very hands-on in that sense. But we're also going to run some labs, maybe some blood, some urine. And when we look at these labs, we're going to get a picture of what's going on with you individually. And as I said, some people have great detoxification pathways, and we really don't need to work on that. Might need to work on something else. But on some people, it is the detoxification pathway that has to be worked on, first. So I really love it. I love being involved with this. I've been in practice now coming up on this 2018. I know on the radio I look pretty young, but I've been practicing 30 years, coming up in 2018. It's almost amazing to hear myself say that.
I know.
But I've been practicing 30 years in 2018, and I want to tell you something, and this is a confession, that I'm so thankful. I actually enjoy being in practice today as much or more than ever. I enjoy it. I enjoy the process. I enjoy getting to meet people. I enjoy seeing people's lives turn around. I enjoy the kids that they were struggling in school, and now they're and I don't want to say normal, it's the wrong word, but now they're healthy and they're adapted. Right. They're able to be in school good. I love it when people come in and they say, wow, I'm thinking better, I'm fresher. I love it when people come in and say, man, I've lost 40 pounds and I was so blocked, I tried every diet, but you figured out what was causing my problem. I love it when people come in and say, wow, I was diabetic and now I'm not. I love this. I love the process, and we love to be able to share it with people.
Absolutely. So, we love seeing those success stories.
Yeah, it's sure. Really fun. So you can get a hold of us, Kessinger Health and Wellness Center. We are in Rolla, and the phone number is 573-341-8292. We have just a couple minutes left. I just wanted to put that out there. I saw the board was moving over here, and they were on the cut down right there. And it is Christmas break, or coming up Christmas break for some of our folks. My daughter, 7 years old, she doesn't get out of school till Wednesday afternoon. But I do have one of my daughters that is actually home today. So I have to say hi to Miss Reagan and hi to Mr. Chase, because they're all sitting there listening on the radio. Say hi to my kids. Love my kids, love my wife. So appreciative of this Christmas season, appreciative of community, and appreciative of good family.
Definitely, and community. Yeah, we're having a little get together with the office. Everybody's
we're doing that,
aren't
we?
And we'll get to meet some of the employees, children's and families that we haven't.
Oh, it's going to be a raucous event.
Yeah, there's going to be like 17 children.
17 children. How many adults?
22. We're almost outnumbered.
Now here, you know what's so funny? This is just our staff, right? This is our staff and family.
At least those are the numbers I heard. How many adults? I heard 22. I could be off on that. 22 adults,
17 kids. I don't know who's going to be running the insane asylum, but we're going to have a big time. We're going to kick it up and party. We're going to enjoy life. It's community time, so we will be able to sit down and do this. And by the way, I've been watching on Facebook, and I have seen that you and your husband have done a wonderful job.
Oh my goodness!
On your house.
Yes, we're so glad to almost be finished with that.
Yeah, I did.
We finally got to put up a Christmas tree.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much. We've worked very hard on that.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you the 1st of next year.
Thanks.